Whispers from Blackwater Lake. A chilling tale of a family's descent into darkness at the edge of a cursed lake. The Holloways had never heard of Blackwater Lake, which made it all the more perfect in Evelyn's eyes. A secluded cabin in the woods, no cell service, no tourists, and just enough rustic charm to justify the price. It was meant to be a last-minute family escape, 1 week of peace before the chaos of the new school year. Thomas Holloway wasn't as enthusiastic. A stockbroker with a need for noise and cell reception, he was glued to his laptop even before they unpacked. His eldest daughter, Marissa, 17, was worse, rolling her eyes at the lack of Wi-Fi, openly mocking the wooden decor and the deer skull nailed above the fireplace. Clara, 16, was quieter, often sketching in her notebook while looking out at the lake with a strange kind of curiosity. And then there was Jude, 11, their youngest, who clung to his Nintendo until the battery died, and then simply sat at the window watching the lake. From the moment they arrived, Evelyn noticed something was off. It was a scent, faint and sour, like wet bark and rot, that clung to the cabin's walls. And though the sun was bright, the lake itself remained in shadow, dark and glassy like obsidian. She chalked it up to the forest canopy, but by the first night, that illusion of peace had already begun to crack. Night 1, the woman on the water. It was just past 2 a.m. when Clara woke to a whisper. "Clara." At first she thought it was her mother's voice, but it was slow, unnaturally drawn out, with a hollow echo to it, like someone speaking underwater. "Clara." Her skin went cold. She sat up in bed and looked toward the window. There, standing on the surface of the lake, was a woman. Her skin was grey and saggy, her soaked white dress floating just an inch above the water as if suspended. Her face was turned away until it wasn't. Without moving, the woman's head twisted with a jolt to face Clara. Her eyes were missing, sunken pits filled with dripping black. Clara screamed. The family rushed to her room. Evelyn wrapped her arms around Clara, whispering calming words, but Clara wouldn't stop shaking. "There was a woman on the lake," she sobbed. "She saw me. She knew my name." Thomas searched outside with a flashlight. He returned 10 minutes later, annoyed and empty-handed. "There's nothing out there. She probably dreamed it." "She didn't dream it," Evelyn snapped, holding her daughter tighter. Thomas hesitated, then looked toward the lake. The surface remained perfectly still. Marissa scoffed. "This place is ancient. She probably saw some fog and freaked out." But Clara wouldn't sleep again that night. Neither would Evelyn. Day 2, the sketches and the silence. The next day, Jude sat on the porch with his sketchbook, staring at the trees. He didn't speak much, not even when Evelyn brought him breakfast. "What are you drawing, sweetheart?" she asked gently. He turned the page. The drawing showed a twisted creature with long, branch-like limbs and eyes that bled down its face. Behind it, in black charcoal, the lake yawned like a pit, filled with bodies. Marissa laughed nervously when she saw it. "What the hell, Jude? Did you get that from a video game?" He looked up, face pale. "He's in the trees, watching Clara." Evelyn's stomach turned. That evening, they discovered every mirror in the cabin had small scratches across them. Thin lines like nails had etched their way in, and every mirror was fogged from the inside. Night 2, the thing in the ceiling. Evelyn didn't sleep. She kept her door cracked, listening. At 1:58 a.m. she heard it again, a faint whisper like wind dragging through teeth. "Jude!" She shot up and ran to her son's room. He was gone, Panic bloomed in her chest. She woke Thomas, who groaned in frustration but followed her outside. The forest was silent, too silent. Even the insects had stopped. They found Jude just after sunrise, curled in the mud by the water's edge, eyes wide and unmoving. His fingers clutched his sketchbook, pages torn and soaked. He was on the ceiling, Jude whispered later, tucked under blankets. He had no mouth, but I heard him. He said the lake is hungry. It wants Marissa. Thomas rubbed his temples. Enough. This is turning into hysteria. It's not hysteria, Evelyn hissed. They're seeing something, and I believe them. Thomas said nothing, but that night, he double-locked every door and loaded the shotgun. Night 3. Crawling shadows. Marissa refused to admit fear. She stayed up late scrolling through saved memes on her phone until the battery finally died. She muttered about charging cables and wandered to the bathroom. That's when she saw it. In the mirror, just behind her, a shape hunched in the shadows. Too tall, its back arched at an impossible angle. Limbs long and crooked like the branches of dead trees. Its head tilted slowly. It had no face, just a Sam. It had no face, just a smooth black surface. But she felt it smile. The mirror cracked as it reached forward. Marissa screamed and bolted from the bathroom. The others found her sobbing in the hallway. Evelyn cradled her as Thomas searched the room. Wet footprints led up the bathroom wall, into the ceiling. Night 4, the teeth beneath. That night, no one slept. Every floorboard creaked. The walls moaned softly like they were breathing. Marissa sat by the fire, eyes wide, when a voice whispered from the flames. Come to the water, it's quiet in the deep. Outside, the lake glowed faintly, black and beckoning. Then came the knocking, from inside the walls. First soft, then louder. Scratching, clawing. Thomas aimed the shotgun at every sound but found nothing, until he looked up. A hand, long, gnarled, black as pitch, was crawling from the corner of the ceiling, inching toward Clara's bed. Thomas fired. The shot blew a hole in the wood, but the hand was gone. Evelyn grabbed the kids. We're leaving, now. The final night. They packed within minutes and fled to the car. But the road was gone. The forest had moved. The trees were tighter, twisted. No GPS, no signal, no path. We're trapped, Clara whispered. He said the lake keeps what it likes. Back at the cabin, the lake had risen. The ground was wet, slippery. The water smelled of iron and rot. At 3:33 a.m., the deer head above the fireplace began to weep. Black. Jude screamed. From the shadows, the demon emerged, crawling sideways across the ceiling. No mouth, no eyes. Just that same impossibly wide smile, stretching across smooth skin. It dropped onto the floor in front of Marissa. This time she didn't scream. She smiled back. I see it now, she whispered. I hear them too. Marissa, no. Evelyn lunged, but Marissa was already walking toward the lake. The surface parted as if expecting her. Hands reached from below, and the lake swallowed her whole. Aftermath. The Holloways were found days later, wandering miles from the property, muddy, confused, raving about demons and a lake with no reflection. The cabin was never found. Authorities claimed it burned years ago. But sometimes, when the mist rolls just right through that stretch of forest, hikers swear they see a girl standing on the water. She smiles and points toward you.